This channel at one point in time used to be about movies and all sorts of stuff, but honestly, the people who have been subscribed to this channel for the last 6-7 years now, I can't say I ain't doing it no more, but this channel has become more of everything, a little bit of everything now, because I can't talk about cinema no more. It's just, yeah. Anyways, so for you guys that don't know, I have posted some videos about Universal Studios Florida and maybe Hollywood. Both, well, one's a park, one's a resort, over the last couple of years. So recently, I took a trip down to Florida, Orlando, Florida, to visit the new Universal Park, Universal's Epic Universe. And about 2 or 3 years ago, maybe it might have been 2 years ago. Well, I'll speak for my own self.
Universal Epic Universe, the fourth park in the Universal Orlando Resort, scheduled to open 2025. So I took a gander at the list, and I have to say, at least in my opinion, I was underwhelmed. DreamWorks. Universal has this love fest for Illumination and DreamWorks IPs in their own, but really, the other parks have been infested. Interesting. Some of that is just like, eh. I do like the idea of a dual roller coaster, and of course I really like the idea of using the Universal Classic Monsters. But other than that, nothing really piques my interest. Not a big fan of Harry Potter like that.
Like I said, that was probably me 2 to 3 years ago when Universal first announced the lands for the newest theme park, Epic Universe. I wasn't feeling that at all. I thought, too much DreamWorks, too much Harry Potter. Didn't really feel like a Universal park to me. It just felt bland. You know? See, I've been going to Universal since 1996. Right? When the park was, the logo was neon colors. Confrontation, Jaws. That era. I don't know why I'm stuttering, but that era. So when I first went there, I was captured in. Now Universal, let me move on. Super Mario Land was on the list. That was fine. But the only land I was really interested in was the Dark Universe, aka Universal Classic Monsters. Big fan of that. It's actually a Universal Actually, Super Mario, Nintendo's actually an IP of Universal now, as much as the classic monsters are. And I remember the comment section of that video I posted years ago. It was rough. For the life of me, I would never understand the unbridled rage behind people who don't agree with other people's opinions. We see it in almost every entity known to man. How dare I have a different opinion over a theme park company I have visited for almost 30 years. But I do understand the Harry Potter fandom is just as big as the other popular fandoms out there. I understand that the Harry Potter IP and franchise has been enriching in both Universal theme park wise and Warner Brothers film. So I get it. Regardless, like I said, I plan on visiting the park no matter what. Remember now, I wasn't expecting too much from this park, but let's see if my opinion changed. So let's start off with Star Racers. It seems like Universal has this romantic relationship with launch coasters. Almost every major coaster across the 4 parks in America, soon to be 5 with the Universal Studios Kid Resort. That even, I think, has a launch coaster for reasons I don't get. But most of the major roller coasters have launch. They're launch coasters, and I don't mind it at all. I hate the long waits to reach the top. You know, when you're climbing up the chain lift on a normal roller coaster, and Star Racers gets to the point. Celestial Park, the opening for the land for Epic Universe, is a theme area not really based on any IP, but it does have a small tie-in with Back to the Future because Doc Brown had a role in creating the Star Racers. The inhabitants of this area, the Celestials, I guess, are trying to harness the power of comets via this roller coaster. Doc Brown helping to install the famous boxes You know what the boxes are at the back of the train. The rest of the land is nice. It's very nicely done. The opening gate is nice. Very different. I like that Universal has different themes, of course, for each of their parks and how they detail the opening gate for each park. Like Hollywood, not Hollywood, Orlando is kind of Hollywood-ish, and Islands of Adventure has the tower, and the opening kind of reminds it of a market overseas or somewhere. This one has the nautical, type of feel to it. Actually, both islands has that kind of too. But anyways, the rest of the land is nice. Like I said, I don't eat at theme parks, so I didn't really visit any restaurants. I just don't eat at theme parks. It's extra money. Unless it's something I really had to try. But I did visit one of the stores and bought some caramel corn. The caramel corn was great, but not the best. It was all right. Not better than Garrett's popcorn. Pardon me. I'm not normal when it comes to people talking about theme parks like they are on YouTube. I do my own thing the way I want to do it. Anyways, it would have been a waste of time for me at least. And what did I look like getting on a carousel anyway? That's for kids or people who haven't really fallen and grown up in the mind. I don't do carousels. I don't need to do that. Next up, How to Train Your Dragon. Iowa Burke. Now, I never seen a single piece of media from How to Train Your Dragon outside the trailers to the films. And of course, this land is dedicated to, kids. No shock there. And this land, the Dragon Racer Rally, a sky flat ride themed to dragons. Didn't get on it. The line was too long. Next to Dragon Racer Rally Hiccup Wing Gliders, a launch family coaster themed to dragons. This was the only attraction I actually got on, and it was alright. It was fun. 45 minutes was long, but I get it why it was 45 minutes. The boat ride Fry Drill, well, that boat ride broke down, so I left the land. Next up, the Ministry of Magic. Now, I was very impressed by the design, the attention to detail to this land, themed to Paris in 1920s from the Fantastic Beasts prequels. I think out of Hogsmeade, Diagon Alley, and now the Ministry of Magic, I think Universal Creative did their best with this one. You could say over time, you will hope, Universal will perfect the creations over time. The only ride attraction in this area is Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. It's an elevator ride, and I was thinking something similar to Tower of Terror over at Disney World. Almost. Guests do sit in the elevator, but this one was a wild ride. But I would put this one behind motorbikes. If we're listing the top Harry Potter rides at Universal Parks, motorbikes is number one in my book, and maybe this might be a number two. And there's another attraction, a circus show, but that was not working either. That was down too. Out of the 1920s Paris, we skipped and look over the scenery, and particularly the hotel in the middle of the park, the Helios Grand Hotel by Loews. Nice looking hotel. And I was thinking, I wonder how much this costs a night. And I decided to do my research, and $426 a night. I'm too broke for this. I'm not. By not paying $426 a night. No, I'm good. Now, for the land I was waiting for. The only land I was really waiting for. The Dark Universe. And I don't know why Universal gave this land this name. It reminds me of that terrible attempt Universal did to create an MCU-like type shared universe. With The Mummy, with Tom Cruise. Yeah. Whew, crash and burn. I guess they couldn't let that name go unused, so when I walked in, I was very impressed. And this land is very impressive at night. Very impressive at night. The village, Darkmoor Village. Feels like you stepped into a Universal monster film. Especially, like I said, you do it at night. The castle, Frankenstein Castle, Darkmoor Castle. In the words of Homelander, what I thought about this castle, period. Crazy in here. But I'm going to call it Frankenstein's Castle. Stepping into there, I was just so taken back by the detail I envisioned this when they first announced. No, before they even first announced, 10 years prior to announcing that it was going to put Universal Classic Monsters in the theme park. I always envisioned what this castle would look like, what the ride attractions would look like if they ever created a land for the classic monsters.
Nothing goes wrong. Yes?
And only one remains. I will control my ultimate challenge, Count Dracula. Call yourself!
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute detail.
Good job, Universal. And Monsters Unleashed, definitely, the ride attraction, of course, definitely better than Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey by far. Sorry, Potter fans. This ride kicks the Forbidden Journey's ass. Universal did a great job incorporating Dracula, the monster, the brides of Dracula, the mummy, the creature from the Black Lagoon, and the Phantom of the Opera, and no, I didn't forget about the Wolfman, into this storyline for the ride. But I will say this to Universal. The Revenge of the Mummy at Universal Studios Florida, maybe even the one in Hollywood, both of those roller coasters have seen better times. How about using some of that technology from Monsters Unleashed for Revenge of the Mummy? Just saying. The Curse of the Werewolf, a launch spinning coaster based on the 1941 film The Wolfman. Mixed feelings on this one. Let me say this. It's not really worth an hour for a 2-second coaster. Let's just say that. Now, I did try the beer in this area. I tried the alcohol. It took some seconds to adjust the taste. At first, I thought it was the IPA, but it wasn't. But it was whatever. It was great. You can hear my thoughts on this clip right here. I guess it's called Reaper's Reserve. Spice Ale. Looks like a skull in that cup. It's my fingerprints, actually. It's not that bad, though. Very spicy. Now, I went on Monsters Unleashed 3 times, so I enjoyed this one. And like I stated before, this land is even better at night, especially with the Frankenstein's castle lighting up with lightning and all kind of the fog. Whew! Hop across and up an escalator to Super Mario Land or Super Nintendo Land, wherever you want to call it. This land was such chaotic. It was such chaos and chaotic. I say this because it's probably the land with the most foot traffic, most tourists going into this area. There was just so many people in this area. No, I did not do Mario Kart. And done it twice in Hollywood. And it's whatever to me. It's not something. It's just, I just don't feel like wasting an hour and 30 minutes waiting on that. No. When I already did something already, I'm not going to do it again. But I almost left this land forgetting about Donkey Kong Country. But I couldn't find it. And then I realized you had to walk down the stairs through a tunnel of people standing in the way to get to Donkey Kong Country. And back in the day, on Super Nintendo, I used to be a fiend when it comes to Donkey Kong Country. I played that game religiously. It's crazy back then. I miss the 90s. But Minecart Madness was fun. But the sound, it wasn't working. You know, there was no sound. Sound cut out. But Minecart Madness, name of the boom coaster, as they call it, was a 60-minute wait in line, even for the single rider. And I think at one point in time, the original line wait was probably an hour and almost 2 hours long. But like I said, this coaster was fun, but the experience on it kind of killed it with the sound not working. It took the fun out of it. I didn't really get to experience the full boom coaster. Now, if you're wondering what the boom coaster is, it's designed with a false trick to mimic gaps and jumps. But the real track is still underneath, while the cart In this case, the minecart is attached to a boom arm. And no, I did not get on Yoshi's Adventure. I couldn't even find the entrance to that ride at all. I don't know where that was at. Like I said, this land was chaotic. Twice as big as probably the one in Hollywood, of course, but it was just so much going on. But that's it for the lands. I like that Universal installed the lockers that was easy to use. Just pull up to the locker and scans your facial picture in order to use the locker and get into the locker after the ride is over. I think they used it for Star Racers, Monsters Unleashed, and Hiccup Wing Gliders. This is weird that they used it for Monsters Unleashed, but I guess you couldn't. It makes sense because you couldn't bring things in there. Now, there's only one metal detector, and that's at Star Racers, I think. I think at Islands of Adventure, they got like 3 of them for the Hulk. Maybe 2 of them, maybe for the Hulk and Velocicoaster, I think. There are only 2 I can think in Star Racers now. I think they need to use this, the type of lockers that they used at Epic Universe. They need to use them at the older parks, because the older parks, that was straight chaos. And I'll get to that in a different video. Now, the entrances to the lands were very well done. Like I said before, all themed to the land. I think the Dark Universe intro is the best one, but that's just my opinion. Now, this park does have some land to expand, but from rumors, Universal is going to keep this Nintendo narrative going. I heard the Legend of Zelda might be coming there, and there might be a possibility of expansion of the Dark Universe. Maybe Creature from the Black Lagoon, or maybe a new land called Retroland. Hear me out. Hear me out. A land dedicated to old Universal rides like Back to the Future. Well, I heard Back to the Future might be coming back to the original park. That's a rumor. More Jurassic Park? People would say, oh, I had enough of Jurassic Park, but you have Harry Potter at all 3 parks now. I think Harry Potter is at almost, no, not almost every park, at every park across the globe. Now, I forgot the details of the Universal Kids Resort. I don't know if Harry Potter is going to be there. It might be there. But Harry Potter is at every Universal Park across the globe. Not Jurassic Park. Because Jurassic Park is at Universal Studios Florida. Or Epic Universe. But where is the Jurassic Park at, Universal? Where is it at? Y'all keep putting out these lame brain Jurassic Park movies. Where is it at? Where's it at? More Jurassic Park, huh? At Epic Universe. Maybe something similar to Jurassic World Adventure at Universal Studios Beijing. Something like that. Maybe. At Epic Universe. I don't know. But that's just me as a fan suggesting things. If I had my way, it'd be Retroland. But what is my grade for Epic Universe? An F-. Nah, I'm joking. I give it an A for now. An A-. I give it that. I was impressed. I wasn't let down. I had a good time on that Sunday that I went. It wasn't too crowded. I think for the most part, I think the longest line I stayed in was probably Battle at the Ministry. That might have been the longest line. Then Minecart Madness, and then after that was pretty much most of the rides I went on after that were pretty simple. Star Racers was like, the first time I got on it was like 5-minute wait, and then the second time was like a 10-minute wait, and then like the third time was like a 15-minute wait. And I was like, this is crazy for a roller coaster that is this fun. It sure has a short waiting time. I think Monsters Unleashed was kind of short too. Like the first time I went on Monsters Unleashed, that was a 20-minute, and I think the second time was like a 5-minute. Curse the Werewolf just continued to stay packed all day for reasons I don't know why. for as short as that coaster is. I think before I left out, I think the wait was a 50 minute wait at 9 o'clock, and the park closes at 10. And I was like, whoa. It's crazy. Mario Kart is always gonna be long, unless you get the front of the line pass. But if you got the cashola, I would say get the express pass. If you got the cashola for all 3 parts, it's a must. But anyways, like I said, I was impressed with this park, but a lot of the themes are for kids. But I want more thrills in the future, like Star Races and Monsters at least. Just saying. But that's my review of Epic Universe. Well, that concludes my day at Epic Universe. Now I gotta find my car. I don't know where the hell that's at. I don't remember I parked. And all of a sudden it got windy out here. So I'll see y'all. Get ready for day 2. Yes, there will be a day 2. On to the older parks.